For centuries, Italy was not a country. It was a memory, a shared language, a shared culture, a shared past stretching back to the Roman Empire. But in the early 1800s, Italy existed only as a fragmented peninsula divided among foreign rulers, rival kings, and the Catholic Church. And yet, by 1870, Italy stood united as a single nation. This is the story of how nationalism, one of the most powerful forces of the 19th century, transformed an idea into a country. After the defeat of Napoleon, European leaders gathered at the Congress of Vienna in 1815. Their goal was not freedom, their goal was stability. Italy was carved apart with little concern for Italians themselves. Austria controlled the north. The Pope ruled the center. The Kingdom of the Two Sicilies dominated the south. Only Piedmont Sardinia remained under Italian leadership. Foreign control, especially Austrian rule, bred resentment.
It looks like a jigsaw puzzle someone stepped on. Austrians in the north, the Pope in the middle. How did this ever become one country?
Because of a soul. In my time, Italy was only a geographic expression. We were a people without a name. Without a country, you have no voice, no rights.
Italian nationalists believed something radical for the time, that Italians were not just residents of regions, they were one people. That belief had a name: nationalism. Italian nationalism took shape in the Risorgimento, the rebirth. Writers, artists, and revolutionaries argued that Italy shared a common language, culture, history, and destiny.
I didn't command armies. I wrote, I founded young Italy. I told the youth that Italy should be a nation and a republic.
So you just talked people into it?
Ideas are not small things. They are the spark before the fire.
But belief alone could not unify Italy. Unification would require strategy, war, and power. That power came from Piedmont Sardinia, the strongest Italian state. Its prime minister was Camillo di Cavour.
Ideas are lovely, Mazzini, but cannons and treaties move borders.
Cavour was no revolutionary dreamer. He was a realist. He modernized the economy, built railroads, strengthened the army, and made alliances.
I whispered in the ear of the French emperor. I used nationalism as a tool.
You traded Italian land for French help.
And gained Lombardy. That is how nations are built.
In 1859, Austria was defeated. Northern Italian states voted to join Piedmont Sardinia. Italian unification had begun. While Cavour worked through diplomacy, another nationalist chose action: Giuseppe Garibaldi. In 1860, Garibaldi led a volunteer army, the Red Shirts, into southern Italy.
Enough talk. While you negotiated, I fought. I offer neither pay, nor quarters, nor provisions. I offer hunger, thirst, forced marches, battle, and death. Let him who loves his country in his heart, and not with his lips only, follow me.
They landed in Sicily, overthrew local rulers, and gained massive popular support.
They rationed shots, relied on speed and surprise, and advanced anyway.
We did not win because we had more bullets. We won because we moved forward when others would have stopped.
You were a Republican, why stop? You could have taken power.
Because I loved Italy more than my pride. I would not trade unity for civil war.
Garibaldi handed his victories to the King of Piedmont Sardinia. Revolution bowed to unity. In 1861, most of Italy was united as the Kingdom of Italy. Its ruler was Victor Emmanuel II. But Italy was still incomplete. Venetia remained Austrian. Rome remained under papal control, protected by France. Nationalists believed Italy could not be whole without Rome.
So the handshake fixed everything?
Hardly.
In 1866, Italy allied with Prussia against Austria. Austria lost, and Venetia was surrendered. Rome remained.
The Pope would not surrender the city.
In 1870, France withdrew its troops to fight Prussia. Italian forces entered Rome. The last barrier fell. Italy was finally united. Italian unification was not inevitable. It succeeded because nationalism created a shared identity, inspired mass participation, united writers, politicians, soldiers, and citizens.
We made the borders, but don't forget, the cost was blood.
We made Italy. Now we must make Italians.
It was not the republic I dreamed of, but it was a home.
It's not just a geographic expression anymore.
Italy was not united by kings alone, or by war alone. It was united by an idea that people with a shared past deserved a shared future. That idea, nationalism, would go on to shape the modern world. As Italy unified, Germany was watching closely. Together, these new nations reshaped Europe's balance of power, their influence reaching far beyond the 19th century. For centuries, power in Europe had belonged to old empires, Austria, France, and the fading remains of the Holy Roman Empire. But nationalism was changing the rules. Italy had shown that shared identity could build a nation. Germany would take that lesson and apply it differently. Where Italy relied on compromise and popular movements, Germany would rely on calculation, industry, discipline, and war. If nationalism can create nations, what happens when it is directed from the top and enforced by the state? That question defines Germany.
Germany was not united by speeches, shared culture, or compromise. It was united by calculation, by war, and by a man who believed politics was about outcomes, not morality.
After the Congress of Vienna, Germany was not a nation. It was a patchwork of 39 independent states, loosely connected in the German Confederation. In 1862, Prussia's king turned to a man with a dangerous reputation.
My dear Bismarck, the German people are divided. Austria dominates the south and our neighbors watch us like wolves. How do we make Prussia the leader of a united Germany?
Your Majesty, we will not achieve unity through speeches or majority votes. That was the mistake of 1848.
Bismarck had a single goal: unite Germany under Prussian control without Austria. To do this, he relied on Realpolitik. Realpolitik means politics of reality. It rejects idealism and moral principles in favor of practical outcomes.
In Bismarck's view, power mattered more than principles. What mattered was not how a goal was achieved, but whether it was achieved at all. If the ends justified the means, then breaking a treaty, provoking an enemy, or ignoring moral objections was not corruption, it was necessity. And war, to Bismarck, was not a failure of politics. It was a tool of politics to be used deliberately, carefully, and without apology.
The great questions of the time will not be decided by speeches and votes, but by blood and iron.
Realpolitik unified Germany, but it also normalized war as policy. The question historians still debate is not whether it worked, but what it taught Europe to accept.
The first step toward unity was controlled expansion. Denmark attempted to absorb two German-speaking territories, Schleswig and Holstein.
Prime Minister, the Danish king is trying to integrate Schleswig and Holstein.
Perfect. We will ally with Austria for now.
Prussia and Austria defeated Denmark quickly.
We take control of the north. The German people must see that Prussia, not Austria, is their protector.
Denmark was defeated, but victory was only the surface result. Prussia emerged with greater influence over the northern German states, tightening its grip on the future of Germany. Austria and Prussia fought as allies, managing the aftermath together. Yet beneath that cooperation, tension deepened. Because this war was never truly about Denmark. It was about positioning, for power, for influence, and for the conflict that was coming.
Next, Bismarck turned on Austria itself. Before fighting, he isolated Austria diplomatically. France and Russia remained neutral. Austria stood alone.
You have provoked Austria into war. We are fighting our own cousins.
It is a necessary operation, sire. We must sever Germany from Austrian influence.
The war lasted just 7 weeks.
The war is over. Austria is defeated.
Austria was pushed toward empire building in Eastern Europe instead. Austria emerged from the conflict stripped of its leadership role in the German world. Prussia stepped forward to fill the vacuum. In its place, the North German Confederation formed, firmly under Prussian control, bringing much of northern Germany together for the first time. Germany was now Prussian-led, but it was still incomplete. The southern German states remained independent, watching, waiting, and soon to be drawn into the final stage of unification. The southern German states distrusted Prussia. They were Catholic, independent, and feared being swallowed by a powerful Protestant military state. Bismarck did not try to reassure them. He made reassurance unnecessary. By creating a common enemy, he forced a choice. When France threatened Germany, the South did not join Prussia out of loyalty, but out of necessity. That was realpolitik.
To complete unification, Bismarck needed one final ingredient: a common enemy.
To unite the South, we need France.
You intend to start a war with Napoleon III?
I intend to make France start one with us.
Bismarck took a diplomatic report known as the Ems telegram, and he edited it, making it appear that the French ambassador had been insulted.
France declared war out of pride. The words were real. The order was real. The meaning was engineered. This mattered because the southern German states, which were largely Catholic, were traditionally wary of Protestant Prussia. But by framing France as the aggressor, Bismarck used a common enemy to overcome this religious divide. Nationalism mattered not because Germans all agreed, but because fear, pride, and identity finally aligned behind Prussia. The German Empire was proclaimed not in Berlin, but in France's Palace of Versailles, a calculated humiliation.
I present to you, Your Majesty, the Kaiser of a united Germany.
Wilhelm I was crowned Kaiser, the German term for emperor, symbolizing the birth of the Second Reich.
It is done. 3 wars, Realpolitik, and the map of Europe is rewritten.
Germany's unification destabilized the balance of power and made future war not just possible, but likely. Germany was not united by chance. It was engineered. 3 wars, 1 strategy, and a belief that power, not principle, rules history.
Power is not given, it is engineered, and once unleashed, it rarely stays controlled.